It's time for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Alright. I'm gonna go delete that old stream.
All right.
Welcome to Woodward Sports. I am Justice Ottawa, and the audio is now fixed. We are here, Terry, at the beautiful U of M golf course for the Kid Again golf outing. A great foundation supporting kids, and what a better day. I mean, it's beautiful out. The sun's shining. It smells great out here.
You know what I don't like when we go to the golf course when it's like those gray days and it's kind of spitting on you. So you still have to stay on the course. Not a fan.
I'm not a fan, but you know what we are a fan of? The Tigers finally getting it done, getting past the Angels, winning 2-3, and the Detroit Lions game comes to an abrupt end, unfortunately, but they did show some flashes. We'll get into all that. Thank you so much for sticking by with us today. It's been a brutal day, technically, here at Woodward Sports, but we're pushing through for you guys.
We got the best in the business on the case, so you knew we were going to come back.
Yes, sir, we do. Shout out to KG. Make sure he's holding it down over there in the audio and sound booth. So, T-Foss, who are some notable performers that you think deserve a little bit of love or hate in terms of the Lions preseason game?
Love Hendon Hooker. And I'll tell you why. It's great that finally people realize the guy stinks. So here is what this does for me.
Get the hate out your heart, Terry.
No, because everything's about me. I'm sorry, but I don't have to listen to clowns say, oh, Hendon Hooker should be the starting quarterback because he's mobile over Jared Goff. I'm tired. So we don't have to hear that. And then if somebody says it, we know they won't even believe it. So that means we can just go up, smack him a couple times, and tell him to shut up and never talk again.
Well, when you're making Kyle Allen look like a legitimate NFL player in comparison to you, I think that shows you everything.
I'm sorry,
you
was
need
that
to see.
Kyle Allen or Joe Montana?
I mean, he was looking like it. I mean, one incompletion his entire
Hooker,
game.
He looked like Joe Montana.
He did. And I think that proves that this team, although I don't like to talk about it because I am of the club that believes if your starting quarterback dies, you die as a team. You're not winning the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, especially if your backup quarterback's Kyle Allen. So to me, I couldn't care less, but in terms of the backup quarterback, I think that whoever the backup quarterback will be is not currently in the building.
No, that's correct. I'd like to see who gets cut from Cleveland. Hopefully it's Shedeur Sanders because then you can bring him here. But, there's a lot of quarterbacks around. People are going to get cut. When's cut day? Whenever that day happens, there's going to be a plethora of quarterbacks available. Hear that? Plethora.
Yeah, I do agree with you. There's also Carson Wentz is out there available right now as a free agent. I would like to monitor the Browns QB situation because I think no matter who gets cut from that variety, I don't think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. I don't think it's Dylan Gabriel. So whoever falls out of it, if it's Flacco or if it's Pickett, I think that's a quality backup to have for the Detroit Lions.
I would pick any of their backups except Gabriel.
I agree.
Too short. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not doing it. I do see where people may like that move because he does throw a really nice short intermediate ball in the middle of the field, but you're right. I mean, he's too short. He struggles to throw outside the numbers. I'm not a huge Gabriel guy, but I could see the appeal if someone did want Dylan Gabriel.
Well, is he better than Hendon Hooker? I don't know that.
I don't know that.
So, but you need to find out. Now, the other thing is I don't like about Gabriel is he's got to tell his lineman to get out the way so he can throw the ball. Just before he launches, says, move. I can't see.
Yeah, that definitely is concerning. And another thing that is concerning to Dylan Gabriel is how well Shedeur Sanders did play in his first preseason start. Yes, it's the preseason, but you can see the element that I love about Sanders, and that is his ability to make plays. He constantly is able to evade rushes. He's constantly able to find guys downfield. And then that throw that he made on the run, dropping it right in the bucket, receiver made a nice one-handed catch on the right sideline. That is an epitome of a Shedeur Sanders throw, in my opinion.
How does this young man have more calm and poise than Hendon Hooker, who's been around for 3 years?
I think it's just the confidence that a guy like Shedeur Sanders walks around with. You see it. He's known as a guy who comes off as a little bit cocky, but you can see it's more of a ambiance that he has where he's so confident that he can go out there and ball no matter what the situation is, and I think he did that.
See, I don't think he sounds cocky. I think at times he sounds stupid, and there's a difference. Cocky is like you walking around, strutting around like, I'm the greatest thing in the whole world. And stupid is just saying things that don't make sense.
So you think that So what do you mean in terms of Shadur Sanders then? That like what can you give me an example?
When they were talking about, let me think. I have to go back in my Wayback Machine, which is dangerous. But he just when he talks, I don't like people who talk too fast and then say nothing at the end of the day.
So you think that he just talks in circles?
Yeah, but you know what? He probably gets the confidence from his dad, and I think his dad cautioned about saying stuff because Deion was in the spotlight all the time, and he was saying things that were ridiculous. But you put up with him because he was Deion Sanders. He could run a 4.240. He was great. That's what you could do.
Yeah, I think that he does not have the cachet to be doing what he's doing yet. It would make sense if he would have been that high draft pick that a lot of people did have him.
But he should have been.
He should have been.
That was a conspiracy, bro, Hammer.
I believe in that conspiracy. I
Right.
think that he got screwed. I think he got blackballed by the NFL, and they in turn dropped him because there's no way if you watch the tape that I don't know what NFL GM is watching tape and is like, Dylan Gabriel, that's my guy. That's my playmaker over Shadur Sanders, who had legitimate less offensive weapons than Oregon, worse offensive line, and still managed to look better as a prospect than Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, as I say, there's no line. But we have to get past he was a fifth-round draft pick talent, because that's not true. If Deion Sanders was not his father, he would have been picked much higher. If there wasn't all this noise surrounding him, he would have been picked much higher. And then you had people say, well, no, he can't play. That's why he's in the fifth rounder. That's why he may not get drafted because he can't play. They know they're lying. Baloney.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that the NFL is moving nowadays, especially with now. I'm curious how the new ESPN and CBS deals, the 10% stake that they just acquired in both, affect how these networks are able to cover the league. I question whether or not they're going to be able to be critical. They're going to be able to come out and say some of the things that have been such an important aspect of the landscape of journalism for years, and now they are essentially a bought and paid for network by the NFL.
ESPN will back down to the NFL. ESPN will change its coverage. It's going to be almost like what's the sports network we have in Detroit? I always think it's Bally's.
FanDuel Sports Network.
FanDuel Sports Network. It's going to be like that, where no matter what, it's a great effort by the ball club, and everybody looks good. And then now the other thing you're going to find out, contract disputes, ESPN is going to side with the owners 95% of the time.
Well, yeah, and it's honestly out of a position of fear for the most part. If I was working at ESPN, I'd be afraid to lose my job if I had something to say that was speaking out against some aspect of the NFL. It's going to be really interesting, and, I mean, they had to do it. When you're looking at how much a lot of these other networks, streaming services are willing to pay for these games, the ESPN had to do something to make sure that they kept their Monday Night Football on ESPN.
Yeah, but ESPN is always crying poverty. They got no money. That's why they lay off people and get rid of things and lower their equipment standards. But they got money. They got money when they want to spend it.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, they do. They make more money than.
Oh, I wanted to address the changing of coverage. ESPN already worries about what they say about the NFL. So, with that in mind, when the NFL is going to have 10% share, they're going to be hearing from the NFL all the time. It'll take a few minutes, but they're going to back down. It's going to be just like FanDuel here. Well, the Tigers lost 10-4, but those guys are coming to play. Love it.
Yeah,
That's
and,
what you're going to get.
And you hear it all the time. I remember, I watched the Red Wings more than any other team in the city other than the Lions. And the Red Wings, they would lose games, but it'd be, look how good such and such played, and it is.
Or they'll show one goal. Oh, look how tough Dylan Larkin was in the corner on this play, even though he lost the puck.
I completely agree, and where you're not going to lose out, that's BlackRock,
Yes,
because BlackRock has 8 weeks of giveaways as we roll into week 5. Congrats to last week's winner of the Chopper Tour around Detroit, Spencer Smothers. Wow, A-list name right there. And now this week you could win a big green egg just in time for football season. Enter by scanning the QR code above my head. Every entry also gets you a shot at the grand prize, 4 tickets to the home football opener on September 14th. Entry closes August 17th. Ready, set, sizzle with BlackRock.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Get ready for unfiltered sports talk like never before. Join Braylon Edwards and Shep as they bring you the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Has a man open! Touchdown, Michigan! Braylon Edwards.
Where no topic is off limits. What are they thinking? How do jocks really feel?
Here comes a little blitz. Blitz is picked up, though, on the pass thrown to Edwards. Touchdown!
Tune in Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network for hot takes, heated debates, and the latest sports news. It's time to elevate your sports game. Don't miss out.
Summer is heating up and Michigan is buzzing. Each can delivers 7.5 milligrams of real THC with no artificial sweeteners and real fruit juice. They're bold in flavor, but low in calories and 100% hangover free. It's all bubbles with no troubles. Perfect for poolsides, bonfire nights, lake day chills, and of course, the golf course, as me and T-Foss are enjoying Loom's great product. So make sure you hit up one of their 38 locations around the great state of Michigan. Use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order and go to loom.com today. Welcome back to Big D Energy. I am Justice Atawa, and I am joined by the legendary Terry Foster here at the beautiful Michigan golf course. We are here at the A Kid Again golf outing. Great cause, great people for the kids, so make sure if you want to go contribute, you please go do that. We got KG in the audio technical booth, holding it down on both sides, so shout out to him. How do you like these buzzins, Terry?
This is not I'm not the demographic, but this is nice. It's chilling me out. I'm not in as bad a mood as I was about a half hour ago, so yeah, this is great.
Well, what more can you ask for than you being in a better mood than you walked in? Shout out to Loom, shout out to Buzzin'. And we're going to keep it going as, the Lions played this weekend. As, take what you want out of preseason. I'm personally not a fan, but you do get to see some flashes from some guys who are going to play, aren't going to play. You don't know. But T-Foss has everything that you want to hear about Isaac Tesla.
Tesla will be the number 3 receiver for the Detroit Lions. At some point this season, I'm going to predict Halloween. When now put on your Superman costumes and getting the kids all ready for the candy, Tesla will be the number 3 receiver for your Detroit Lions.
That's as bold as it comes, T-Foss, and I am going to agree with you because this is a guy who, coming out of the draft this year, I told people he was so limited by his quarterback in Tavon Jackson at Arkansas, where he never was able to really pop and show you that skill set that he does have, where you're seeing it now, being able to get some consistent reps, the contested catch rate, you're seeing the way that he is able to get the ball after catch and make guys miss. He's tough to tackle. He's absolutely huge, so he's tough to press off the line. I would love to see him be the Lions wide receiver 3.
Well, congratulations, young fella. That's exactly what you're going to see. So, but, I think he's very good. The thing I like about him, he's fast and he can post you up too. That's a dangerous combination. So he's going to make the team. He'll be the number 3 at some point. But you can't just take stuff away from a vet like Tim Patrick. You got to give him a chance, and you don't make moves like that early in the season. But at some point, if you get in trouble and you need a little bit more pass rush or pass catching, Tesla's your guy.
Yeah, he is going to be an absolute spark plug. And the great thing about guys like Tim Patrick, and he said it in an interview earlier this year, he's like, I will do whatever this team needs for me to do. I will be a mentor. I will take fourth-team reps. He really doesn't care what he is on this team. He just wants to be a part of it. And that's where I think it's going to be so good for a guy like Isaac TeSlaa. The wide receiver room that we do have right now, I think each of them have a skill that he can develop from each one of those guys. He can get his route running better from Amon-Ra St. Brown. He can learn to utilize his super speed with like JMO. And then you got a guy like Tim Patrick who can teach you the consistency of that wide receiver 3 role in this Lions offense.
Yeah, no, there's good mentorship there. If they do that, everybody assumes that older players take young players under their wing and teach them everything like Grandpa does. That doesn't happen all the time. But I think in a wide receiver situation, it would. Tim Patrick seems like the kind of guy that would do that, pass down the information.
And I think even JMO's getting to that point. He came out and he said that I'm a veteran now. I got to act like I'm showing these guys how to run routes. And I think a lot of that applied to a guy like Isaac TeSlaa, who has the athletic upside in a way that JMO does. And I'm super excited. If by October you're telling me that Isaac TeSlaa is even seeing 50% of the wide receiver reps, I would be excited because he is another element to this offense. He's another true weapon. Yes, Tim Patrick is great, but he's a high floor, low ceiling wide receiver 3, where Isaac TeSlaa is a lower floor, but a higher ceiling where you could see another ripple of this Lions offense be dynamic.
I think Patrick made some very big catches too, so let's not sleep on him. He had a good. I thought it was a good season last year, and then he made stuff when the Lions really needed him, which was great. So, but if you can bring somebody in who's a little bit better than that, what's that say about the Lions? Lions are going to be better.
And I think that's where we're at as a franchise. You just got to continue to get better, and you got to not be afraid to put guys in lesser roles to improve your team. And I think that's going to come to life as well at the trade deadline when there's going to be guys available who can help this team win, and it's a matter of are you going to go out and get that guy.
Yeah, and I agree with trying to get better every year, but there's only so far you can go, and then the NFL starts to punish you. They punish you with the salary cap. They punish you with lower draft picks. So I think a lot of times if you can maintain and then other teams around you go up and down, you could be in that position where you're vying for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree, and a Super Bowl sounds so nice. And
that was two words you couldn't say in this town before. People would throw eggs at you. How dare you say that? I got in trouble for making fun of a guy who mentioned Super Bowl.
What year was that?
Oh, shoot, this had to be.
Like, was it a legitimate year to?
No, it wasn't.
No, come on.
They haven't had a legitimate year.
Right. The last 3 years are the most legitimate.
You can't say 2014. It wouldn't have been Usher to
but
mention it. I'm not saying they could have fully said it like, oh, yeah, we are a Super Bowl favorite, top 4 favorite in the league.
We knew they were a playoff team. But,
right.
Yeah, as far as, like, Super Bowl, we all think that they could have been that just based on where they were. But the reality was they weren't because the very next year they couldn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, before these guys came here, the closest they got was in 92 when they beat Dallas, which is a game that's supposed to catapult them to greatness, and it didn't.
Yep.
And then they had the NFC Championship game against Washington. Washington smoked them. And then Lion fans said, wow, geez, you're being rough on them because it was sort of close at halftime. Last time I checked, they don't play half games in the NFL.
No, they do not.
All right.
Ask the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, right.
If we did, we would have been in the Super Bowl already.
But I think now in this town that narrative has flipped. But I think that because that narrative has flipped and it has put this fan base in a point of hunger where now they are teething for a Super Bowl, I think like the first year Dan Campbell made the playoffs, this fan base wasn't tenacious at going after a Super Bowl. They were content with the playoff wins. But
or they say, okay, after Dan Campbell's speech, I can see them saying, oh, man, they hired another bunch of clowns. It's the same old stuff.
Yeah, and now everyone loves the clown, that Dan Campbell speaks with. And it's not, to me, it's not an active clown. I think that Dan Campbell is very calculated on what he says in the media. And I think that he gives off this such alpha presence where the team rallies around everything he says. And I think it is a good thing at the end of the day.
And they probably do that. I think his main focus or his main strength is motivation. And I've talked to a bunch of guys in the league, and they're like, their coach just gets up in front of them and just goes, rah, 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 like that. You fall asleep. But if somebody is talking about pistol whipping people and chasing them, at the front door, if you're going to go hunt us, kneecaps, Sasquatch, I don't know what else he talks about, but you know what I'm saying?
One ass cheek and 3 toes.
Right, one ass cheek. If you can get away with that if you win. Now, if he's talking that stuff and won 3 games.
Oh, they would think he's an idiot.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, total idiot.
Much like that first year.
Yeah, but
they thought he was a meathead.
Success cures all. And I think that Dan Campbell is the living, breathing example where originally the league narrative was, oh, look at this guy out here talking about biting kneecaps, and now he's one of the most respected head coaches in all of football and even has players from other teams saying how bad they want to be a Detroit Lion.
Yeah, and that's all about motivation and also being truthful with his players.
That's the big difference.
Because the one thing that coaches, the mistake they make is they'll lie to a player, and then that player will tell so-and-so, and they say, oh, no, that's not the case. And then you get caught in your lie. And then you got to make up stuff. And then when the media asks you about it, you got to go, oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. That never happened, when you know good and damn well it did.
Yeah, I think it's more than just the coach, though. I think it's an organizational change because, Terry, you can speak to this. When Willie Clay was in charge, you wasn't hearing nothing. It didn't matter how much losing was going on. He wasn't going to come speak to the public. They weren't going to address things. They kept a lot of things in-house, and you didn't really know what was going on with the team at a given time, as opposed to this regime. They are honest with players, and I feel like, in terms of the NFL as a whole, they are more honest at the podium than a lot of other teams. They tell you how they feel. They tell you where they lay with certain players, and you see the results of that with some of the extensions that they make, and just everything from top to bottom. They have completely flipped, like, what this organization used to be. So I think it's just more than coaching.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up the extending contracts. A lot of people always, if you have a year left on the guy, why sign him now?
Right.
Because this organization has a history of not signing guys, and then I go to him, bitch to him, and then he's all pissed off, and he go talk to you, and you're mad because I'm not getting paid because you next. And they did that all the time. Mm-hmm. So I understand why they signed Penei Sewell earlier, because now you don't get that gray cloud in that locker room where it looks like, what's my man Thigpen from the from the Peanuts gang?
Yeah,
that's walking around. That you don't have that.
The clouds aren't gray, but they're great clouds at Mad Packs.
Oh, that's a fact, man. Shout out Mad Pack.
And Detroit, if you're looking to elevate your rotation, listen up. We're here to talk to you about Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the hottest new cannabis brand, and they have partnered with Woodward Sports, available in select retailers near you. High Low is getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality at unbeatable prices. Boom
Go ahead.
shakalaka. Boom shakalaka.
There you go.
Is a live resin infused tarantula. This one is the bomb. Blizzard packs, THCA moon rocks that hit like a blizzard. Stay tuned with Woodward Sports for all the latest updates, and make sure you go pick up some Mad Packs.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. You got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back to Big D Energy on Woodward Sports. I am Justin Satawa, and I am joined by the legendary Terry Foster. KG holding it down in the technical department. Appreciate him for being the MVP that he is over there. But two very important Detroit Lions players did take the field on Friday, and that was Tate Ratledge and Tyleik Williams. T-Foss, what were your initial reactions to those two finally getting on the field in a Lions uniform?
Did not embarrass yourself. That was my first take. And plus, rookies in a situation like this, I don't expect to see great things out of them. But they were in position for the most part, showed that they're physical. Tyleik is just an animal out there. They're both big fellas. But that's the thing that I take. And I can't predict starting status for either by Halloween, but it'll probably happen. But I just thought it was good. Nice, solid yeoman's performance. How about that?
I think that's fair. I liked what I saw out of Tate. I think he showed a lot of flash. Obviously, he's not going against the type of talent he's going to have to go when it's the start of the season, and he is ultimately starting at guard or center. Seems like guard. But do you think that he eventually is going to make the move over to center? I've heard a lot of people still think that they're going to continue to try to install him in that center position as we move towards the season and into the season. And by week 10, week 12, we're going to see Tate at center.
Yeah, my theme today is going to be Halloween. By Halloween, you will see Tate Ratledge at center. He is a future center with this team, so why not get him started now? Unless he's an embarrassment, then you have to make the move. But he's young. This is a young man's league, and if I see somebody showing promise and they're young, they're going to get their opportunities to fail.
I think that says it perfectly, and I think it's a very similar situation to the whole Tim Patrick versus Isaac Tesla argument, where Glasnow, you know what you're going to get with him. You got a high floor, low ceiling. He's going to be somewhere between the 12th and 18th best center in the whole National Football League. With Tate Ratledge, though, a guy who has the RAS score, has the athleticism to be able to be an elite center in the National Football League, you don't know. He's got a low floor and a high ceiling, and you got to see what you got out of him.
Yeah, you don't want him to be the 25th best center in the National Football League because that would be a disaster. But I don't think they would put him in that position. And the reason I said I think he may be starting after Halloween is That gives him 2 full months of regular season play because he'll be at right guard to see what's going on. It gives him an entire training camp. So I think by then, you know exactly what you got in this young man. He'll know exactly what he's got with the Lions. So that's a perfect scenario for me. The only reason, well, the primary reason, should never say only, but the primary reason I think he would do that is because eventually he's going to be the Detroit Lions starting center, whether it's next year, whether it's Halloween, whether it's 2028. And so you want to see what you've got because it's such an important position. You want to start throwing him in that leadership role where he's telling dudes what to do and what to watch out for and stuff like that.
And you expect that he's going to be able to make those calls, make those adjustments for the entire offensive line playing center after Halloween?
No, but they'll give him that opportunity after Halloween. Maybe next year he'll be able to do that. But maybe this year you don't need the complete package. You just need somebody athletic. You need somebody who's dynamic, who's strong, which he is. And then the leadership part will come next year probably.
I think an interesting thing to this as well is there's been, honestly, a failure to talk about the other side and Christian Mahogany. Everyone kind of just plants him in there, and they all believe in him, and there's this lateral faith that he's going to be a dude at left offensive guard, and he still has under 100 snaps in the NFL.
People liked him last year. Now this year he doesn't exist.
I haven't heard anyone talk about him.
Right. Well, I heard you talk about. Well, I heard you mention his name. It's not officially talking about, but
ain't that a good thing?
It's a good thing. You only want to hear linemen's names when they make an egregious penalty.
Right.
In other words, you don't want to hear their names.
I agree, and I think that the one thing that you can pencil in for Mahogany is he's going to be an elite run blocker. And he proved that last year in his limited snaps. Is it going to regress because Frank Ragnow's not there? That's to be seen. We're going to have to actually see this defense against a quality opponent, and we'll see that in Week 1 against the Packers.
Right, absolutely. There could be some fall off. I don't think there's going to be a lot. Yeah. I still think this running game is going to be dynamic. David Montgomery just knocks the crap out of people. Gibbs is faster than lightning. So who's going to, even if there's a gap in the middle, who's going to catch Gibbs?
Nobody.
Not a 400-pound defensive tackle.
If he gets to the linebackers, it's over.
Yes.
If he gets to that second level.
Especially untouched.
Yeah.
People do not realize how good of a tackle breaker he is. He breaks so many tackles, especially the first guy. Yeah. So many times you see him run right through the offensive line, the defensive line, and linebacker comes and tries to plug him up, and he just breaks that tackle. And if he's has any space after that, he's gone.
Yeah.
Because you can't catch him in the open field.
Because he's breaking ankles too, in addition to breaking tackles.
And that's why he's such a special running back. And hopefully we see another element that they are talking about in the pass game where we see him. I love their angle play they run a lot of times on third down or near the goal line. They ran it against the Vikings a couple times where they run that halfback angle. Goff throws a nice ball to Gibbs. No linebacker is going to be able to cover that.
His lateral speed is ridiculous. That's why I said don't be afraid or don't be surprised if they use Gibbs on the goal line. I know we just assume Mani will get those touches, and he will get a lot of those touches because he's a dog at the goal line. But Gibbs and his pure speed, good night, man. If he gets
I like
outside.
This offense when you can nod at either of those running backs to go in at the goal line and both of them are going to score. It doesn't matter who you give it to. It doesn't matter what play you run. You give those two the ball. You let them make plays, and they're going to make plays.
How about you can run the ball all 4 downs with this Lions offense? If you're at the goal line, you just line them up. Hey, until you stop it, I'm going to continue to run these backs because they're that damn good.
And if you fail the first 3 times, you run it over the right after Penei Sewell, and then you get the touchdown there.
Yep. That's how you break defenses' backs, for lack of better words. That's how you mentally destroy teams. You line them up 4 times, they can't stop you because you're that damn good. And I think we got the same amount of maulers on this Lions offensive line. I'm not really worried about them.
And that's why it bothers me so much where it didn't feel like we had that same mentality in the Commanders game.
Yeah.
Where we were just going to run it down their throat all game, no matter what they were doing. We know that we are better. We are more physical. We are the more complete football team on offense. And letting the run game dictate the passing game. That was my big issue with the Commanders game, and I just want to see that mentality be there all the time for this Lions team.
Except the problem one big problem was you were in a run situation on the third one at the goal, near the goal line. You were in a position to show how strong and physical you are, and they decided not to do that, and that changed the game.
Changed everything.
Then they could never catch up because the Commanders were feeling good. So we can score on these clowns anytime we want.
And that they did, and that's where I do get so excited about this defense and them being fully healthy is because I know what this defense can do when they're healthy. You saw it in the first part of last year's season, how dominant Hutch was, how many turnovers they were able to force off good teams early in the season. And that's where I think that in this first game, it's really going to be a wake-up call to the rest of the league on how good this Lions defense truly is.
Tell about the big Green Bay game?
Yeah.
There's people talking smack about Green Bay that they're going to do something.
Huh? You mean the third place team in the NFC North last year?
Oh, the first place team.
Yeah.
No, I was reading these preseason things, and they ranked the top 10 teams in the NFL. They had the Lions 9, Green Bay 7.
Sure. That is crazy.
That's what I said.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's BTA.
No,
That first game, they are going to absolutely put belt that.
The crazy part is we got Hutch back too, and they still like ranking us lower than what we should be. I mean, what's so special about the Packers? Every time Matt LaFleur lines it up with Dan Campbell, he gets embarrassed. Like, Dan Campbell is a better coach than Matt LaFleur at this point, if you ask me. And that's crazy because Matt LaFleur had at least a 3 to 4 year head start.
See, like, that's the issue. Like, what evidence do Packers fans and Vikings fans have over those last couple of years that we aren't owning this division? Last 2 years, this division has been ours.
Yeah.
And
No, it has been, but I think they believe eventually the clown factor is going to get back into this organization.
I told you. I said that on the morning show.
Yeah, it's the clown factor, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, Lions got bad equity in terms of, like, national media, and it's just natural for them to just hit the easy button on the Lions. Yeah, they're going to regress. They've already done it for 2 years. They had a perfect shot at a Super Bowl, and they failed 2 times. They're going to go back to being the same old Lions. It's easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy. The national narrative actually blows my mind. But shout out to Dante151 for the $1.99 super chat. Manu looked good this past Friday.
He did. He
looked
played some
solid.
good snaps.
I'd love to see him continue and show some consistency here, so maybe we can feel like, unlike the Hendon Hooker reach, that this wasn't so big of a reach and that Brad Holmes ultimately did have a plan with Giovanni Manu.
Yeah, I think he's on track now.
Yeah, reaches are reaches for a reason. I mean, if you hit on 50% of reaches, you're doing great.
Right.
But chances are you're going to fail more times than not. But you do that reach because you think this is something, at least with Hendon Hooker, they thought it was something that could help them down the road.
Right, and they trust their staff and the people that they got in-house. I mean, Hank Fraley, once again, one of the best offensive line coaches in all of the NFL. So I can't be mad at him for taking Manu. You know, Taylor Decker's getting up there in age, a little long in the tooth. He's dealt with some injuries, and I do think Manu could be the answer, man. But he has to work on that footwork, and he just has to get better in terms of pass blocking. But ultimately, I think he's on track, though, especially – with Taylor Decker, probably I wouldn't say this is his last year, but you know it's coming towards that time.
He's in the twilight years for sure.
It's coming toward that time. It is.
Yeah, he could see the end in the distance. Well, not even the distance; it's close.
Yeah,
because he's
still good.
He's good, but you never feel good after an NFL game. But he's feeling especially bad after NFL games. So that's a sign that you've taken a lot of hits and you've been in the league for a while.
A lot of wear and tear.
At some point, even if you don't say that's it, your body will say, hey, snap, we done. Stop it. You're killing me.
Yeah. Snap, I think it's time for a break.
Yeah, and let BlackRock snap on you as they will get you with the best steak in the Motor City as they are in the middle of 8 weeks of giveaways. Week number 5 rolls on as congrats to last week's winner for the helicopter tour 4-2 around Detroit, Spencer Smothers. And now this week you can win a big green egg just in time for football season, so make sure you scan the QR code. Every entry also gets you a shot at the grand prize. 4 tickets to the home football opener on September 14th, Chicago and Detroit. Entry closes August 17th. Ready, set, sizzle.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Summer is heating up, and yeah, I am baking in this sun, but Michigan will stay buzzing. Thank you to Loom Cannabis, as they have 7.5 milligram THC wrapped in bubbles with real fruit juice and no artificial sweeteners. They're bold in flavor, low in calories, and they're 100% hangover free. It's all bubbles with no troubles. Perfect for poolside sips, bonfire nights, lake day chills, and of course, if you're hitting the golf course. Available at any of Loom's 38 locations around Michigan. That is, use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order online or in store. Go to loom.com today.
I know I'm buzzing.
And we are back as we are enjoying some buzzins today at the Michigan Golf Course at the Kid Again Golf Outing. Make sure you visit akidagain.org to make sure that you contribute to this amazing foundation helping these kids around the great state of Michigan.
You know, this golf course has created a lot of money. I mean, they've had so many golf tournaments. You know, Charles Woodson has had something, Desmond Howard, the University of Michigan Athletic Department, U of M football, baseball. Everybody's had outings out here. So I bet you this golf course here has raised $1 billion, and I'm not kidding.
I mean, it's a beautiful course, a beautiful place to raise that money, and at least it's going to a good place.
Yeah, true. And I got to play it a few years ago.
How was it?
It was hard for me, but I didn't think it was going to be as pretty as it was.
What would you say are some of the great features that they have here?
I like the little fairways that go up and down and all that kind of stuff. I like bumpy.
You like the change in elevation?
Yes.
I'm a big water guy. I hit it in there all the time.
Water.
I can't lie, but I do enjoy looking at the water while I'm playing. I think it adds a nice element. I also enjoy, if there's some vegetation, some flowers, some bushes, just some nice elements to the court. I think that's what I identify with. And then some beautiful greens, which they look pristine today. I can't lie.
Dude, if you hit it in the sand trap rather than the water, at least you can get your ball back. If you hit it in the water, no ball.
I know, but I don't really go out there to.
And I know you're on a budget.
I don't. I don't go out there to be competitive, though. I usually go out there. I'm just out there to have a good time, hit a couple balls.
Yeah, but if you hit the ball in the water, it's gone, whether you're competitive or not.
Well, that's why I buy $1 balls. It's just $1.
That's still $1.
It is still $1.
You probably hit 5 or 6 of them in the
I
water,
lose
so
at least $4 balls around, at least.
So there's a $4 surcharge with your little cheap balls.
That's why I don't go play at courses like this, though. I go play at, the $25 municipal. And
Are you playing with orange balls in the summer?
no.
All right.
No, I'm playing with white balls.
Okay.
Pause. Damn it, Terry, you got me.
Set up.
Well, you know who's set up is Tyleek Williams, because he is going into a situation where he is surrounded by great veterans around the entire defensive line, including one that needs to stay healthy, but we'll get to that in a second. How do you think Tyleek was looking as he took his first snaps as a Detroit Lion?
Yeah, once again, solid. And I wasn't jumping up and down saying, man, look at this brother. He's killing it out there. But he took care of business. He didn't really make many tackles, but he created or took away space from the offense to allow others to make tackles. So when you're on defense, you're always told this. It's not about you all the time. It's about what you do for your brother next to you. And I think he took on the double teams. He created space for other people to make plays. So I like that part.
I think that's exactly what you got to ask for from Tyleek Williams. Just take up space, because he's going to be playing with a lot of guys that if you give them space to make plays, they'll make plays, including, obviously, Aiden Hutchinson, any pressure that you're able to take off him and allow him to free up for single team and allow him to set up his tackle in the way that he wants is huge. But then you're going to bring in Aleem McNeil at some point in the middle of the season, and that's just going to help this kid soar, because that's a guy who really has a push into the backfield where it's going to be a beautiful combo with Aleem McNeil. But to start the season, you're going to have DJ Reader, a guy who does the same thing, which I think is going to make your running defense very, very good. It's going to be extremely difficult to run in between the tackles against this Lions defensive line.
Yes, it will. And this guy is going to – Tyleek Williams is going to be a rotational piece. The defensive line doesn't just stay on the field and play 50 plays in a row. They rotate the fellas in and out because they're fat.
And I think that you do have the sustainability to do that. And I think Roy Lopez is a body that you can say, all right, that's a solid backup. And I think last year, as you saw the defensive line dwindle with the injuries, you definitely didn't have enough there through and through. You had guys playing roles that they weren't prepared to play, weren't good enough to play. And this year, hopefully, even if we do have to take on a couple injuries there, we have sufficient depth where we can go 2 or 3 injuries to not the main guys.
Do you know who they had out there for the Commanders game on the defensive line?
Muhammad. And was it Onzarike? God.
They had Sambo, Joe, and Pookie out there. That's who they had out there.
Not Sambo, Joe, and Pookie.
No.
That's hilarious. Real quick, we got a super chat to clean up. I ain't say that with a $2 super chat. Shout out to you. Ayo Justin what in all caps, crying emoji, and 2 monocle emojis.
I ain't say that. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I must
you
have
play
missed
with
this.
white balls. It's okay, man.
Were you crying about something? I must have missed this.
No. He was talking about when we were talking about golf balls.
Oh.
Yeah he plays with white balls. We know that, though.
Well,
Justin
good.
has been known to play with white balls a lot. But I thought this chat was interesting. Shout out Combat Leg Vids in the chat. Starting defensive line, Zadarius Smith, DJ Reader, Tyleek, and Hutch. Let's say we were to get Zadarius Smith back, which a lot of people feel that we will get back. Do y'all really think he's going to start over Marcus Davenport?
Yes.
You sure?
Stop it. Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not on the first play of practice, but beyond that, yes, he'll be ahead of Marcus Davenport.
I don't know, man. I think they have so much belief in a Marcus Davenport, they might bring Zadarius in for 3rd downs because rushing the passer seems to be a specialty.
If they really believed in Marcus Davenport, they wouldn't bring in Zadarius Smith.
But
they got it.
They do like Marcus Davenport's ability to play the run, though. Like, he sets an edge pretty well. You can't take that away from him, but.
See, Zadarius is solid at that, too, and where I question that decision where he would come in as a backup is why would you not give Marcus Davenport the limited snaps? He's the guy who is proven that he cannot stay healthy. That's where if you can regress his role at all, I'm for it because I want him to be able to play as many games as possible, being most effective. And I think you see it, like the Tigers are a great example of how they utilize different pieces in different ways, and it makes them better players in total.
But I agree with that, but look at how they use the running backs. There's no clear-cut number one. It's just a rotation, and we all know that. We all assume Gibbs is the number one because there's
a number one.
There's a number one.
You
There's
think
number
so?
one.
Yes.
All right.
There's a number one.
But I don't think it really matters if you're using them in a rotational sense anyway.
That's what you're supposed to do in the NFL. Rotate, because if you have a workhorse and they're carrying the pill 300 and 350 times a game or a season, they're going to be dead at the end of the year.
Yeah. We getting some people in the chat chiming in. Wilson, JD in the chat. Zadarius doesn't set the edge and is a liability against the run. We have another one in here because that's how I'm not sure what you meant there, but that's how they used Zadarius last season, Justin, even with scrubs.
I don't know what to say. I just
Shout
want to
out
see. I
IML.
just want to see the man sign.
I do too, because I think regardless of what you believe on how he is as a run defender or how good he is at setting the edge, he can get pressures, he can get sacks, and he can make plays opposite Hutch. And I think that's what's important when we're trying to talk about.
So can Marcus Davenport, though. When he's on the field.
When he's on the field.
When he's on the field. But
let me ask a question to Davin over here. Who would you rather have in your starting lineup, Zadarius Smith or Marcus Davenport?
Pull that.
You said pull that? All right, cool.
Let's see what the people think.
I think it's an interesting topic because I don't think it's as simple as you guys are making it. Especially with how they played Marcus Davenport last year. It makes sense because his pass rusher, he is a solid pass rusher. He's capable of collapsing pockets. He sets the edge really well in the run, better than Zadarius.
He had the most sacks.
But you said, well, yeah, Zadarius did by default because he stayed on the field.
Well, Michael Waries chimes in with a $5 super chat. Shout out to him. Bad news, I don't think Z is coming back unless we have a bad injury. The D-line looks pretty good in the last game. But that's preseason, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, preseason. Stop it, guys. Preseason doesn't count. I don't know how many times I have to say this.
Dan Orlovsky went 4-0 in the preseason. Choke on that.
And he also ran 13 yards out of the end zone.
Yes, he did.
Or 13 steps.
And I think that shows about who he was as a quarterback in the NFL, unfortunately. He's great. He's a great analyst, great guy.
He can describe it. He just can't execute it.
Yes. He has a great football mind, but he does not have the physical tools to succeed. But you have the physical tools to smash that like button. So please, smash that like button. If you're new here, subscribe. We appreciate all of you. So how are we feeling about what rookie makes the most impact? We've talked about three. We've talked about Tesla. We've talked about Tate Ratledge. And we've talked about Tyleek. Who do you think makes the highest impact in December? Because we talked about how you believe by Halloween that all of these guys are going to play a pivotal role by Halloween. So give them another month playing in that pivotal role. Who do you think makes the highest impact in December?
I'm going Ratledge. And you know what? I can't tell you exactly why, except my bunion is telling me it's going to be Ratledge. I just have this feeling this guy is going to be, because he's athletic and he's young, and he's going to learn a lot of things from some pretty good linemen. We forget the Lions still have good linemen out there.
Yes, they do.
Pass stuff along, but I just think he's going to be that guy.
I agree with you. I do think it is Tate Ratledge. I don't think that Isaac Tesla is going to get the opportunity to be that real factor, but because of the fact that Tate Ratledge will be playing every single down by December, no matter if it's at guard or it's at center, you're going to start to see him honestly, you're starting to get into second-year player territory. The amount you can learn from starting in the NFL from week 1 to week 14 is so much. There's so much knowledge that you can consume and that you can watch the tape on and fix and make sure that you're improving throughout a season, where I do think it will be Tate Ratledge. I think we're going to be talking about Tate Ratledge as one of the rising stars in the offensive line position because of how good he plays down the stretch for this Lions team, and they're really going to find out in the playoffs how good he's going to hold up.
Yes, and that's your future left tackle.
Tate Ratledge?
Yep. Maybe 8 years from now. I'm not talking about Halloween, man. Relax.
You think in 8 years, or give
7.
me in 7 years. So you think he's going to make the transition at
over
28 years old to left tackle?
I know, and I'm stepping on all of Kenny's boys today. My apology, but yeah.
You get your shit off.
Yeah, over Manu.
What goes? Sorry, you're blowing my mind right now. What goes?
Why
into
is that so hard to believe? Is he like 5'10"?
No,
350 pounds.
But moving a guy from the inside to the outside like that late in his career seems so out of pocket to me.
Well, it's not, and that's my prediction. It's gonna happen, bro.
Hey, we do have some super chats to clean up in here. Shout out to everybody showing love to the crew after a day of technical difficulties. But Michael Weary in the chat, $5. Bad news. I don't think Z is coming back unless we have a bad injury. The D-line looked pretty good in the last game. Michael Weary, again, $2 super chat. Preseason doesn't count, but that's where you build. And finally, shout out to Dante151, $4.99 super chat. Teams are going to wait after week 1 to sign Z Smith because I found out that veterans don't get guaranteed money, so I think that's the Lions' plan.
And vets don't want to go through training camp.
That's a fact.
That's a big factor right there. But see, it seems to me this is Brad Holmes holding stuff back. I know he said, well, it takes two to tango, which is correct. But I think most of the problem is that Brad Holmes really feels he doesn't need him, and he wants to prove to everybody else that the Lions didn't need him. That's what I get out of this.
Well, you know what I can't do without? That's a Mad Packs pre-roll.
Oh, yeah.
As Detroit, if you are looking to elevate your rotation, listen up. We're here to talk to you about Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the hottest new cannabis brand, and they have partnered with us, Woodward Sports, available in select retailers near you. High-low is getting you high for the low, delivering you top-tier quality at unbeatable prices. Also, check out the Boom Shakalaka pre-roll. Maui Wowie, it is my favorite. Live resin infused tarantula. This one is the bomb. Blizzard Packs, THCA, moon rocks that hit like a blizzard. Stay tuned with Woodward Sports Network for all the latest updates.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Get ready for unfiltered sports talk like never before. Join Braylon Edwards and Shep as they bring you the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Has a man open! Touchdown, Michigan! Braylon Edwards.
Where no topic is off limits. What are they thinking? How do jocks really feel?
Here comes a little blitz. Blitz is picked up, though, and the pass thrown to Edwards. Touchdown!
Tune in Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network for hot takes, heated debates, and the latest sports news. It's time to elevate your sports game. Don't miss out.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports. I am Justin Satawa, and I am joined by the legendary Terry Foster, KG, holding it down in the sound technical booth, as this is Big D Energy, and we are coming back at you.
I think your name is Justin Shock.
Justin Shock?
Yeah, because you're just shocked about everything I say today.
I mean,
even though I'm making sense.
Shocked by other stuff.
I can't lie. The Tate thing is the only thing I guess I'm really shocked about. I mean, I cannot process moving a center out to, or a guard out to tackle at 28 years old. It seems so.
What if you do it 4 years from now? Is that okay?
Well,
because what I'm
guess
saying,
it's better.
Within 7 or 8 years, he will be the left tackle of the Lions.
Really?
Right.
Sounds insane to me. I can't lie. I'm baffled at the fact that you think that.
They might draft another left tackle in 4 years.
Yeah,
they could. Or this guy could develop so well because he's an athlete.
He is.
He's highly thought of. Maybe can develop into that. Know what I mean?
I mean,
Lions do like versatility.
and he has the athletic profile to make that switch. If we are talking from a perspective, I do think he could switch. I just question him doing
You know what?
it
Let
that
me
late in
stop.
his career.
Let me stop. I take it all back. He will not be the left tackle for the Lions in 5 or 7 years. Penei Sewell will, and you move this dude to right tackle.
But why wouldn't they do it after Taylor Decker retires? Because you
Well,
think he's in his twilight years,
We think
correct?
he's about to retire, so this could happen 2 years from now.
You think what? All right, so let's rephrase. You think if Taylor Decker retires in the whenever that happens, that Tate Ratledge will become the other tackle, regardless of side, with Penei Sewell?
Penei Sewell will be the left tackle. I correct myself, and then Ratledge will be the right tackle.
Chat, let me know if this is crazy. Am I just blowing smoke here? I think this is crazy that we're gonna move Tate Ratledge to tackle in the middle of his career.
Who is we?
I'm hoping the chat.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping the chat sees that I'm not crazy. I feel genuinely insane up here. That I don't.
You're not insane. Just different strokes for different folks. That's all.
Well, the stroke that our chat seems to be going with is 59% of them would prefer to see Zadarius Smith as the starting edge opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Marcus Davenport, 40% on the.
You know what? I'm still salty with Marcus Davenport. You know why?
Y'all all is. We know.
No. This has nothing to do with injuries. When he had an opportunity to say, "Yeah, I want this job," and they don't need another left or another rush in because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stop the run. Do you know what he said instead?
What he said?
Don't look at me.
He said that there was reason for that, though. I mean, when you've been, talked about in the media and just on socials about your ability to not stay healthy, eventually, even somebody like you, T-Foss, if somebody commented on you not being a good reporter multiple times over multiple amounts of years, you would eventually crack. You're human.
That my fingers are broke all the time because I couldn't type.
Yeah.
No, here's where I'm coming from. I'm, milling around Detroit or wherever I am, listening to radio, reading the paper, and they come to me, "Hey, you want to speak to the media?" I say, "Hell yeah."
Yeah.
But here's where I would be coming from. Y'all keep talking about you need another rush in. No, you don't. The other rush in is here, and is me.
I mean, that's cool, but maybe he just wants to win, and if you can bring somebody in that can take him off the field, give him some rest, I don't think he should be upset with that either.
He shouldn't be upset. I am. My point is, Dan Campbell, all he does is breathe fire every day, and that's supposed to pass down to his players. And then you get one guy where they say, "Okay, dude, you ready to go in there and show out?" I don't know, guys.
So you think he ain't got no heart? You think his heart not in it to win for this team?
I don't think he wants it enough. This doesn't sound like a guy that's been coached by Dan Campbell for the last few years.
I don't know. I think we just think differently on that. But when you somebody that's been in his position, I can't necessarily blame his disposition. But
let me ask you a question.
It's funny, though. No, real quick, though. We talk about Marcus Davenport in so many ways. We have never questioned his play. Like, it's always the injuries. It's always what he said to the media. When have you ever heard anybody question Marcus Davenport's play on the field? When he's on the field.
And that's the big question, when he's on the field.
Yeah, but when he's on the field, he does perform.
When he's on the field, he's good.
You said what?
Availability is a skill.
I'm not doubting that at all. I'm just saying, when you're in Marcus Davenport's position, I can understand why he feels the way he feels. He doesn't want to get injured. He's going out there trying his all.
He doesn't care?
His body is failing him. It's not that he,
so let me get this straight. So he's a young man, and he wants to make sure he doesn't play too much so he doesn't get injured.
Well, I mean, at this point, it would just make sense. But that's not to say he doesn't want it.
When you're a competitor, I want to be out there every play. You can't drag me off the field.
Yeah, but once again, he never said that I don't want to be the starting defensive end for the Detroit Lions.
He didn't sound like he wanted to be.
When do we start to question his ability to prepare?
I'm not doing that. You can't. Injury is the one variable that's uncontrollable in all of sports. Like, seriously. Like, nobody can control what injuries happen to them at a given time. He's been snake bitten in his career. I think we all know that. It is unfortunate, but there's a reason he keeps getting jobs in the NFL. We know the NFL to be a cutthroat league. If he wasn't performing and getting injured, we would never hear from this guy again. He's been a good piece for a couple different teams now, and there's a reason they keep bringing him back. I don't think this Lions organization is stupid by any means.
No, I don't think it's stupid.
If they're bringing him back,
get...
I believe it's for a good reason, and they have belief in his ability.
Yeah, they have belief in him. That's why you don't see another edge rusher here, a high-profile edge rusher, because they believe in him. Do you believe in him?
I mean, as a fan, I want to. But I can't, just based on the track record, it's hard.
The fan part of me wants to be hesitantly optimistic.
Yeah.
I want to be optimistic about Marcus because like KG just said, when he's on the field, he is a good player. He's great in the run. He gives you a little something in the pass rush. He's a good edge when he's on the field. The issue is he's not on the field.
Yeah, I'm going to ask this question again to KG. Let's see if he gets peanut butter in his mouth again. Where he goes.
But I mean, that's a loaded question. I mean, it's more to it. It's never just black and white.
It's you pick one dude or the other. That's as black and white as it gets.
So are you saying that would I rather have Zadarius or Marcus Davenport? Is that what you asked me?
Yes.
I would rather have both if you can get them.
Okay, jump. Pick one.
Listen here, sweetie. I told you I want both. I would rather have both.
Okay. So you in favor of signing Smith?
Yes, absolutely. Why wouldn't I be?
Who starts?
I really think it would be Marcus Davenport.
In November?
Sure. We can say that. If things change along the way, then you can change it. But
I mean,
they both have a clear.
They
both have a clear-cut skill set, and when you just look at Lions, they like bull rushers, bro. They like bull rushers that play that edge position. Marcus Davenport is everything that they want. They're gonna start this guy regardless, y'all. Like if Zadarius Smith doesn't sign, Marcus Davenport's gonna be a starter.
I don't disagree.
That. But in terms of pass rushing, I would much rather have a Zadarius Smith on third downs. I'm just saying it's not the craziest thought in the world. It's not. And I think a lot of people would be surprised if you see Marcus Davenport week one.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let me rephrase this. You can only have one.
It was Zadarius Smith, of course.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Listen to that.
He got you. Come on, KG.
I gave the answer that he wanted, but it's never as simple as that.
No,
so that's
no. You did not give me the answer I wanted. Instead, you went.
Yeah, but who did the organization prioritize? Did they keep Zadarius Smith?
I don't care about the organization. I care about you.
I'm a fan. I don't run the team.
I understand that, but I'm putting you in charge. You got the Gators on. You got a nice, sweet tie on.
Well, if I'm Kentucky Green, we would have made a trade for a more dominant or got somebody in the draft. Like if I'm Kentucky Green,
and you got
so
your
don't
braids,
put it on me. I'm just saying.
You got your braids looking all good and everything.
Oh, well,
I'm putting you in charge. I didn't say they look good now. I'm saying I'm putting you in a position where they're gonna be looking good.
If I was in charge, we would have drafted James Pierce in the draft, or some form of an edge rusher.
Okay.
And we would have kept Marcus Davenport, and maybe we would have signed Zadarius Smith as well. So, because we're in the Super Bowl.
Well, I like this guy.
I like quickly. Kentucky Green.
Kentucky Green to get it done.
You know,
Kentucky Green don't have a budget.
Hey, Kentucky Green.
I'm trying to win. The Lions have never won, so.
Bro, Hammer, you know when you do a show like this, you're supposed to give your opinion.
Yeah,
and not go.
I'm trying to also be realistic as well. And I'm telling you, it wouldn't be a shock to me if Marcus Davenport would start, even if they signed Zadarius Smith.
Well, either way, it wouldn't matter. They're going to rotate.
Exactly. So I don't see what the big deal is.
For the first two games.
But a lot of y'all, you two up there, and a lot of people in the chat would have a problem with that. And I don't see where the problem lies if they both on the team. And
here's the problem I see.
There's zero problems if they're both on the team.
No.
Y'all would rather have Zadarius.
You starting Davenport over Zadarius. Then you got to make the switch back to Zadarius anyway in like 2 games. When Davenport
we don't know that. We don't know that. Because what if Marcus Davenport stays healthy? We can play the if game. What if Marcus Davenport stays healthy for more than 15 games?
I still would like another edge.
You will want another edge if we have Zadarius and Marcus Davenport.
Did you not see what the Eagles did with their plethora of 6 edges that they rotated last year? Yes, I would like another edge.
Okay, I'm going to ask him another question.
Out of pure greed.
I
Literally
don't
pure greed.
want to
show
know.
up now.
I don't care about his
Getting
answer.
really-
I want to know how he answers it.
All right, fine.
If you add Zadarius Smith to this team and start him, will the Lions win the go to the Super Bowl?
I believe they'll go to the Super Bowl either way. But yes, to answer your question, yes.
Okay. So if they have Marcus Davenport out there for 3 games, will they go to the Super Bowl?
They might win those 3 games for sure.
But they're not playoff games.
Yeah, we don't know that.
They'll be the first 3 games of the season, and he done.
Y'all leave Marcus Davenport alone, man. This is exactly why he answered that media question the way he did, by the way. Leave me alone. Don't look at me. I feel him. Don't look at me, bro. Just go report on everybody else. Don't look at me. I'm working over here.
You're not speaking
I'm working
to the
over
media.
here.
You're speaking to the fans.
I'm working. Hey, the fans got to get over it, man. We done heard worse things as Lions fans. I don't care about that. Dan Campbell don't bring nobody in here that don't want to play football. That's what this regime has told me.
You can't hit 100%, bro, Hammer.
Okay. Oh, now we can't hit 100%. We could go to break, though.
Yeah,
I think we need a break.
Yeah, we can go to break. Let me tell you about BlackRock. As BlackRock has been chugging along through their 8 weeks of giveaways, we roll now into week 5. Congrats to last week's winner on a helicopter tour 4-2 around Detroit. Spencer Smothers, you are our winner. And now this week, you can win a Big Green Egg just in time for football season. Enter by scanning the QR code right on the screen, as every entry is also gets entered into the grand prize giveaway of 4 tickets to the home football opener on September 14th. Entry closes August 17th, so make sure you get that in. Ready, set, sizzle.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports. I am Justin Satawa, and I am joined by the legendary Terry Foster. KG holding it down in the audio technical booth
now.
as we are Big D Energy for you today. Neil and D-Mac are playing.
Have you noticed something today? When we're not on the air, it's really calm.
I might not either.
Talking, the wind goes.
The wind don't like Justin for real.
Nah, the wind is my biggest op right now. That is for sure.
Maybe that's Justin blowing hot air. Maybe that's not the wind.
Maybe we should have got a plant.
No, we got a plant. Hey, shout out to Loom Canvas for the beautiful plant that we have on display here.
Green plant.
Yes.
I thought it was a peach plant. What happened?
I think they switched it.
Yeah, they did.
Had to get A.
Hey, I'll take either plant right now.
Yeah, me too. Boy. But we are Big D Energy, and let's talk about ops. Who is the Lions' biggest op? And that can be the best team that they have to compete with. That could be the team that just hates them in general but can't get it done. T-Fuss, who is the Detroit Lions' biggest op? It could be a player, too, even.
I have to say the Chicago Bears. Now, they're not great. They're not good. But there's that Detroit-Chicago thing that you really can't explain. We just can't stand each other. In the same division, and they're going to be talking noise. They'll be at Ford Field the second week of the season, talking about they're going to destroy the Lions and this is going to catapult them. You're going to hear some crap from Chicago. So I would say that, and I know a lot of people say Green Bay, but to me, the Green Bay hate is very, very, very recent. Chicago hate's been going on for decades.
Sound like Sean Beligian.
We have different visions in the world. Your view is not wrong. It's just different.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
I think, obviously, the Packers' long reign over this division has affected everyone's thoughts on the Green Bay Packers. But the Chicago Bears is a team that, when I was growing up, that's a team I always thought we were competing with, and the team that I actually thought that we could be. Obviously, the boogeyman, Aaron Rodgers, for the Lions always reigned supreme in those games against the Lions. But the Bears is a team I always thought we could beat. We always had a chance to beat. So I 100% see that. And I think that if you were to ask me what team I hate more, it would be the Bears. But that Packers hate does burn bright. KG, who do you think is the Lions' biggest op?
I mean, in terms of the North, definitely the Packers. I mean, that hate do not go away. And I do understand T. Foster's point. It is more recent in the terms of just Lions history. But, man, did they take advantage of us for a very, very long time. And now you look at the shoe is on the other foot now, and I don't think they can stand it really. This Packers, franchise has been blessed over the years with Hall of Fame quarterback after Hall of Fame quarterback after almost Hall of Fame quarterback. Still word is still out on Jordan Love. But ultimately, I feel like, they are still one of our biggest competitors. They seem to be the most consistent because you never know what you're going to get out the Bears year after year after year. There's a lot of years where they are just pure garbage, and they don't want to admit that. But I would say the Packers are still one of our biggest ops, and that's why people have the Packers above the Lions in a lot of, national media polls right now.
But I understand why the Packers would freak out about losing the division to the Lions 3 years in a row. Because here's this little clown organization. Yeah, they got new coaches and new stuff, but this is our division.
Yeah. You've even heard their GM come out, oh, this cute that they're hanging, NFC North banners. Like, they really have a problem with the Lions, taking over like they did over these last 3 years.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't hang up NFC North banners. You got to think championship.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
If you do NFC championship, I could go for that because you got to hang something up. But
Wilson, it was satire. I wasn't being serious. But
let's be honest here, all right? Everyone knows that for a majority, honestly, you could say every part of this franchise's history, that the Green Bay Packers are the older brother to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are little brother, but
okay,
now
but here's something
they're the
people
little.
don't want to admit. So was Minnesota, and so was Green Bay and Chicago and Tampa when they were in the division. Everybody was big brother to the Lions.
But now we finally are big enough. We are strong enough to fight back. And you're seeing now that we are bigger than them, we're better than them.
Out.
They are freaking out, and you see
and
it.
They should, because they got to be saying, "What?" It's the Detroit Lions, because then they'll put some of the blame on us. Well, we're not as good as we need to be if we're letting these fools win the division.
Yeah, and I think it absolutely irks them. I think it keeps Packers fans up at night, and it's actually hilarious because there's this guy on social media. His name is Mick Jones. Shout out to him. He makes these parody videos, and he refers to the Green Bay Packers like they are the little gremlin that protects the ring in Lord of the Rings. And he's like, how dare the Detroit Lions think that they're good enough to play in the Hall of Fame game better than the illustrious Green Bay Packers? Oh, they aren't even on the same level as us.
Snoots. We'll give you that. They're snoots. I don't know how you can be a snoot living in the middle of nowhere, but they're snoots, and that's based on what their team has done. But I totally get is this Lions stuff for real? So I think it plays into how Vegas looks at Lions. I think it plays to the over-under with the Lions, point spread sometimes with the Lions, because, yeah, they're good, but I don't quite believe this.
I think, right, like you said, the Lions. First game of the season, Packers-Lions, even spread. To me, that's crazy. I know that there's question marks on the offensive line, but even last year, we were beat up when we played them the second time, and we still came out on top. And that's where the first game of the season, you really think that the Detroit Lions are going to lose a divisional game, a division that they haven't lost a game in for the last 2 years?
Well, they're looking at the offensive line. They're looking at the coordinators, and they're looking for the fact that this is a road game. So I can understand Vegas doing that, but I just have a feeling the Lions are going to go into Green Bay. Green Bay is going to be talking all this smack, be a little bit cocky, and then get the faces smacked.
Yeah, Dan Campbell going to sun Matt LaFleur yet again.
It happens all the time. Like, Matt LaFleur says it all the time, that he is this technologically sound coach that he can go toe-to-toe with Dan Campbell, but Dan Campbell has proven his mentality is stronger. His will is stronger in games, like you saw in the quarterback documentary when they were like, we're going for it every single fourth down, no matter what. And then they don't do it, and Goff is, come on, this is our thing. We got to do it. And then they still go for it, pound the rock, get the first down, and then kick the field goal to win the game. I just, like you said, son. Matt LaFleur is Dan Campbell's son, and he just knows how to outcoach him. The styles don't match.
Yeah.
The style that the Detroit Lions play against the Green Bay Packers is their kryptonite. The Green Bay Packers can't play like the Lions.
No, it reminds me.
And they try to. That's the thing. They always try to play like the Lions when they play the Lions. They always try to emulate our style, but you can't do it like us.
It reminds me of the Ohio State game versus Michigan last year. Ohio State had everything going for them. All they had to do was continue to pass the rock. But no, they want to try to out-physical a Michigan team that you can't do that with.
All Ohio State had to do to wipe Michigan up and down the field, stay away from those two defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Then they said, we're going to go right at them.
And they had an advantage in the passing game. They just chose not to take it. But Matt LaFleur, to your point, he's a great coach all around until he gets punched in the mouth. And that's when you see Dan Campbell and a coach of that style really shine. Because when you challenge Matt LaFleur the way Dan Campbell does, you see the real Matt LaFleur come out.
You know, you just quoted? You quoted the great philosopher Mike Tyson.
Oh, did I shout out?
Everybody's big and bad until they get punched in the mouth.
That's real.
Yep. Then you're not so big and bad.
Yeah, well, I think the Packers are – I don't think Packers are the third best team in this division.
Again,
I think the Vikings are still better than with a rookie quarterback.
That should say a lot about Jordan Love then.
I think
and speaking of Jordan Love, he is being praised as this maybe not great quarterback, but very good quarterback who's going to shove it down your throat.
I mean, yeah, he's got about 10 games under his belt and a playoff win against the Dallas Cowboys. But, I mean, it is what it is. He's great.
Yeah, I mean,
he's elite.
I would love for the Packers to keep him around. Jordan Love, it looks like.
My boy Bray, man.
Shout out to Braylon. Braylon walking all about the king of Ann Arbor as he walks this place. I mean, everyone smiles.
Just graceful. I wish I could be Braylon. He just walked gracefully around
he just
here.
walks around here, aura, and he's popping.
That's what happened when you were the best receiver in Michigan history. You just
right.
fancy about
who would win a vote for the mayor? Let's say there's a mayor for the University of Michigan. You put up Braylon Edwards and Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson.
Oh, Charles Woodson. Well, Charles Woodson.
Okay. Well,
no offense to Bray. No offense to Bray. I was trying to show Bray some love, but that's tough.
He'd win that. He's in the top three. Let's put it like that. He's in the top three.
He get through the primary.
No, he
Yeah,
will, for
right.
sure.
Well, you know who needs to be your primary plug when it comes to your drinking cannabis game is Loom, as they have
Elite.
the Michigan Buzzins right now, and they are 7.5 milligrams of real THC wrapped in bubbles, crafted with real fruit juice, no artificial sweeteners. They are bold in flavor but low in calories, and they are 100% hangover free. It's all bubbles with no troubles, perfect for poolside sips, bonfire nights, or lake day chills. Available at any of Loom's 38 locations across Michigan. Use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order. Order online or in store at www.loom.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome to Woodward Sports. I am Justin Satawa, and I am joined by Terry Foster and KG in the audio technical booth. T-Foss, how are we feeling? I mean, it's a beautiful day out. We're just enjoying, talking some sports. Shout out to everyone in chat for being here. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already.
Well, I haven't met many people who are unhappy when they're on the golf course, unless they're golfing. And I'm not doing that, so I'm on the golf course, and I'm not shanking balls over the place, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it is a little toasty out here, that's for sure. I think that's a little bit nice, only having to sit in this chair instead of, going out there, giving a couple swings. Even though I have a very hockey player-dominated swing. I am one of those guys. I swing too hard, and I shank the ball to the right with a nice curve almost every time.
If you have a hockey player swing, that means you can play. Because every hockey player can play golf.
I cannot. I cannot fix the slice.
You the ugly duckling, huh?
But I'm one of those guys who.
Are you a hockey player? No.
Yeah?
He is.
Did you play on Western's team?
Yeah, I play in college.
He all right,
played
too.
in college.
I play on the club team, yeah.
He all right, too.
Okay.
He's not bad.
Hockey's different than a lot of other sports because there's not as much opportunity, so a lot more of the competitive hockey falls down and filters into club hockey. Like, kids get academic scholarships in my league to play hockey, and they get their hockey paid for, and it's very weird.
What's in it for the school?
They make money off the team. Ticket sales,
nobody goes to those games.
Hope College would disagree. Hope College would disagree. They sell out their arena every single game. They win a national championship every other year, essentially.
All right, hang on. I'm a student at Western Michigan University.
We don't get fans because there's an actual team.
Oh, so that's what's in it for Western Michigan. Because nobody comes to your games. Are they giving out scholarships?
No, not for our team. I'm saying in other teams in our league, teams we play.
For Hope.
Yeah, so Hope does that because they don't have an NCAA team. So that's their version of NCAA, and that's why they have a competitive advantage over us.
How do you like playing? Did you beat them?
No. We played some tight games with them, but it's tough when they are have guys who they have brought in and given money to play on their team. It's just. It gets tough. It's like essentially playing.
You may not be able to beat them hockey, but you dudes are big studs from Western Michigan. I bet you could beat their ass after the game.
Well,
beat them up.
It's part of the issue is we try to do it too much during the game. We are the classic, we like to goon it up a little bit, maybe a little too much.
Okay, but you don't look like a goon.
No, I've been chirped by my dad my entire life that I am a Lady Bing hockey player.
I was going to ask if they had a Lady Bing for Western Michigan.
I would win it.
Would you win it?
Yes. I have about 10 penalty minutes in my entire 4-year career.
And that was probably a fighting penalty for 10 minutes.
No, it was just a couple. You can't get away from a couple of the calls. Ticky-tack call here, ticky-tack call there. But I have gotten one misconduct for fighting.
Okay. I knew you were fighting at some point.
It's impossible to avoid.
I don't want to hear this, Jess. Oh, he's such a sweet little guy. Isn't he cute? You know you fought.
Yeah, I get scrappy every once in a while. I like going after the big kid too. I find joy in going after the biggest kid on the ice. I might get my beat, but I'm going to still go after the biggest kid on the ice.
Fresh out the mean streets of Petoskey, baby.
Right. Hey, man, you don't walk down the streets of Petoskey after 2 in the morning.
I'm trying to tell you.
Something might happen.
Something that we all can kind of kumbaya on, hopefully a little bit, is the Detroit Tigers because they were able to.
I don't know if we can do that.
No, I was about to say I'm definitely not. So I don't even know why I said that, bro.
Trying to sell BS.
I know. I'm
people.
trying. All right, I won't sell you BS. As they do beat the Angels, they find a way to get it done. Riley Green with a bomb, Kerry Carpenter with a bomb in Game 3. Let's go temperature check here. How confident are we feeling that this team can win 2 playoff series and go to the World Series? Temperature check. 10 being they're going to do it, I am so certain, and then 1 being no effing way, they're not going to get it done.
I'm going to give them a 7 because I keep hearing how they can't go to the World Series, but then I look at the teams who are supposed to go instead of them, and they got problems too. Yankees have lost 7 games in a row twice. The Angels have had long losing streaks. Houston has had long losing streaks. And, in fact, I ran into a Houston Astro fan while I was in New York last week, and I told him, I said, you're going to have to play the Tigers in the playoff at some point. He said, yeah, I know. I worry about that series. I said, but the Tigers are kind of going through it right now. He said, everybody goes through that. He said, don't worry about it. Worry about trying to be a complete team in September and October.
Do you have faith that this team is a complete team?
No, I don't think they are. If they were complete, they wouldn't have signed or traded for 8 pitchers before the trade deadline. None of whom were great, though.
Yeah.
You know what? And this just hit me. The Tigers traded for a bunch of relief pitchers. I'm more worried about the relief pitching now than I was before the trade deadline.
Well, I think you've seen regression from the guys who were in your bullpen, and that is concerning for sure. I think that this bullpen, see, that's my issue. That's my biggest issue with this whole thing, is everyone always wants to point to last year, acting like this team is the same team as last year.
But over a 162-game period, they won 100 games, so you got to look at that too.
I understand that. But when you're looking at this team, comparing it to last year's team, is the lineup significantly better than last year.
I mean, they win total will indicate that they are.
Can we drop the word significant? Is the lineup better than it was a year ago? And I would say yes.
All right, I'll agree with you on that.
But it's not because you added anything. It's because the guys in house.
Gleyber Torres.
Improved. Well, Gleyber Torres, and yes,
Yeah.
he's been great. But
Been added.
all right, he was the only real add to your offense.
Starting pitching.
Don't ask me that question.
KG,
What about it?
is the starting pitching better this year than it was last year?
I would say so. That's not saying much, but I would say so. You had Jackson Joe before he went down. We all forget that he did play this year. Didn't look bad. You had Reese Olson, who was playing pretty good before he got injured. But now you're just in a state where you need bodies at this point because you're incurring a lot of injuries.
You're talking about two people who are out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you did have them. They're a part of this win total that you racked up.
I had gonorrhea once. But I
Did
don't
you?
today. No,
I don't know if
just
you
kidding.
should be sharing that.
No, but
children.
you had these pitchers. You don't have them now. Is the Tigers' starting rotation better now than it was last year?
I still got to say yes because you didn't have any starters last year. You had Schoolboy, and it was pitching chaos that we all loved. Remember?
Wouldn't you consider what we have now pitching chaos?
A slightly better version of it, yes.
So slightly.
But
Yeah,
chaos.
you have a bit more options than you did back then. You have
chaos nonetheless.
you have legitimate starting pitcher options. You didn't have
Really?
that last year. You had relief.
Who?
You had Schoolboy and reliever.
Who has proved to you that they are a legitimate starting pitcher in a playoff series?
I'm just talking about the bodies. You can talk about how they've played all you want, but Jack Flaherty was brought in to be the number 2. He's not playing up to a number 2 level. I get that. But you have Jack Flaherty. You did bring in Charlie Morton. You did bring in Chris Paddock. And I know that's not saying much, but
You
these
mean
are
Charlie
this is what
Morton
you
who
have.
got blown up the last
Yep.
game? That guy?
Yeah, with
but
the 6-10 ERA of the
same guy
Tigers?
the same guy that pitched to Jim the first game too. I'm not saying that's going to be the thing. I'm just saying these are the bodies we have.
So if we're playing that game where you're going to get an inconsistent start out of everyone outside of Tarek Skubal, okay, because essentially that's what we're getting. We're getting a 1-for-1, either it's good or it's bad, from Flaherty, Mize, and Charlie Morton and Chris Paddock. It's either going to be they're going to pitch unreal, their stuff's going to be working, and they're going to have a great game, or they're going to get blown up. It seems like it is one or the other, correct?
Yeah.
So
Say that with anything though.
You can live with that if you have more no run games than you do blowouts or blow ups.
Right.
And
Just say you have 4 good games and then 2 blow ups. You can win a series that way.
True.
well, where I was taking you is the bullpen.
Yes.
Is the bullpen better or worse than it was last year?
It's regressed. You brought in better people, but somehow it regressed.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we can all agree that it's worse.
I think, you know what, let's play this game. When a relief pitcher came in last year, you were relatively calm.
Yes.
You were confident this person was going to get through this game. This year, when it's time for the relievers, you're like, oh, my God, what do we have here?
But is that because of the guys that they brought in, or is that because of the guys that were struggling in house before you even made a trade?
So
Both.
The guys you had last year are the same guys you got this year. You know,
So why
minus
isn't it working?
The 7 pitchers that you added at the deadline.
So why isn't it working?
Got to talk to them about that. I have no clue. They went from one of the best bullpens in baseball to one of the worst in this stretch.
And a good GM would have brought in more arms to make sure that we were equipped to make a playoff run.
Not more arms, better arms.
Better arms.
Yeah. But we all say that he's handicapped to a certain degree. So who are we really blaming here?
He's handicapping himself. He proved that. He said in his interviews after the deadline.
Okay.
We were unwilling to trade for flashy players.
Let me stop you. Don't go by everything people say in interviews. There's certain things you have to say.
Yeah.
I still say Scott Harris is handicapped
It's
by
clear.
ownership because, lo and behold, the Tigers are in the World Series position. They got a team that could go to the World Series. You need quality pitching and a right-hand bat. That's going to cost you money. So we're not going to do it.
Right.
Because we don't want to hold back the kids. That, you know what, I can't believe we in Detroit are buying that BS.
I don't think we're buying it. What choice do we have? That's what Chris Ilitch decided.
You know what you can say? The hell with that. Get them kids out of here. Boo them kids. Get them out of here. Bring in the pros.
Boo them kids.
And that's where it really bothers me with this trade deadline. And regardless, Scott Harris didn't want to do it. He's handicapped by the man upstairs, regardless of what actually happened.
I think he did what he could. And that's, hey.
It was.
Or did what he was told.
That too.
It is a disservice to this fan base and to this franchise that they didn't go after it. They had the best record in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Since the trade deadline, they do not.
Reminds me of 2014, right?
100%.
But you know what they're going to do? They're going to come up and parade Scott Harris or whoever the GM is at the time in 2029. And they're going to say, hey, look, everybody, we're still good because we didn't trade away our prospects. So we're still a young team. We're on the up and up, and now maybe we can go for it.
They are putting themselves in a position to where the young kids got to hit. Like, it can be no, real development period. They got to come in and start impacting the team immediately.
Well, I think we're trying to get to a point where this is a city where every single team is good. And I think that the next development, the next step that Detroit has to take is getting into the mindset of championship or bust.
Yeah.
And I think you saw the first evolution of that with the Lions last year. They came out and said it. It is Super Bowl or bust. Everything below that is a failure.
But it's hard to do that with the Lions. They are elite from top to bottom. We know there's not too many weaknesses on that team. We knew realistically going into the season that the Tigers had a lot of holes.
Yeah.
They just outperformed their means. So that's why
Could they have filled their holes at the trade deadline?
Not all of them. Yeah, they could have filled some, but not all of them. If they had Eugenio Suarez right now, do you think him alone could have turned around what they're going through right now?
No. But I think that Eugenio Suarez plus a legit reliever who could come in the ninth inning and
So two players would have brought the Tigers back to relevance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let's say this. It increases your percentage. Would you rather go into –
and takes away from the Mariners' percentage.
No.
And hold on real quick before y'all go. We do have 2 super chats. I almost passed these by. Shout out to Sideless, $5 super chat. Yeah, bad bullpen, losing streaks, slumping after a hot start. Guardians looking to steal their spot. I'm worried about the Yankees, too. I wouldn't be too worried about them. And Rando Smalls, $5 super chat. You guys have questioned everything Scott Harris has done, and you have been wrong every time.
I don't think I've questioned everything. I love the Gleyber Torres signing. You can go look at my Twitter. I immediately said, well, that's a great quality, underrated signing. It adds a right-handed bat that you desperately needed to add to this lineup.
But you question him about the deadline. Right?
I'm definitely questioning him about the deadline. I think if you don't question him about the deadline, you are literally insane. Like, I don't.
Or you're a homer.
Yeah, or you just want to sit here and live in everything is awesome world and, just be there.
Not quite like Sean, but, close enough.
Yeah, well, I actually will sing the song, but I'm kidding.
Right.
But
I get where y'all – I really understand both sides, but I just look at this thing like Scott Harris can only do what he's allowed to do. Otherwise, we would have maybe had a better option in here.
I'm not blaming Scott Harris.
I'm not either.
Lo and behold, there used to be a Tiger GM here called Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah.
He's in Philadelphia. He swung for the fences.
And he used it right against you in the first game of the season?
Yes. My man throwing 103 miles an hour and coming to all that music and techno stuff.
Stadium was insane.
Yeah.
Would have loved to have that in Detroit, You know
what would have happened? Dave Dombrowski would have made some trades, and Chris Hiller just, oh, no, that's too expensive. We can't do it. Dave Dombrowski would have grabbed him by his tie, pimp slapped him a couple times, and then the trades would have been made.
But that's why Dombrowski left, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's a shame.
He did it for the Phillies.
It's a shame because he's got the Phillies ready to contend again, and we're talking about a team that's underhanded, understaffed, and in my opinion is the third best team in the AL at best. And
you know what's going to happen now.
Tigers
are going to get booted in the first round. The Phillies are going to win the World Series. I'm just being bad.
I hope that I'm wrong. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, the Phillies had a better head start than we did. Their roster is better, like just flat out. But
actually, I said that wrong. You know what's going to happen now? The Phillies are going to get booted in the first round, and the Tigers are going to win the World Series.
I know, right?
I pray. I really do. And for me, it just sucks because you see how this team could have been improved, and now I'm sitting here. We still have a 6-game lead in the division. We're still one of the best teams in the American League. And I'm sitting here finding myself not enjoying this team like I should be. And that's a personal issue that I have because I need to enjoy this team. This team is the best. I would be killing for this team 5 years ago when we were mediocrity.
Well, you know what? Yeah. You got a month plus to try to get some of these funky pieces in lockstep. So you do that. Everybody loves Chris Vetter and what A.J. Hinch has to say and all this stuff. So maybe they saw guys who had flaws, but guys that they could work with. Yeah. And the other thing, if you look at these guys' splits, it's almost like clockwork. 9 games, no runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. And then there's that one game in the middle, 2 innings, 5 runs given up, all earned, 7 hits, walked 4, and struck out 1. It's just Jekyll and Hyde, but it's more good than bad. When you look at the final numbers, they look, So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can get on the hot streak and stay on it.
And winning covers up a lot. Like, we was all hunky-dory and World Series or bust during that first stretch before the All-Star break, man. But that just go to show you winning covers up a lot because we were singing a different tune in the offseason and we were singing a different tune during this little 3-week stretch that the Tigers are going through right now, even though they are still ahead of the game. So,
you know what? Both fan base and GMs are going to be able to throw something in each other's face. Brad Holmes has said, I got the team here. I don't need an edge rusher. The fans have said, nope, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. The fans have said, Tigers, you need a right-handed bat. You need a couple quality arms if you want to go to the World Series. Scott Harris has said, nope, we don't. My pocketbook string is not as long as I want it to be. We don't need all that. We're good as we are. See you in the World Series. So somebody's wrong and somebody's going to be right.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's how it always goes. So does the 6-game lead that we have in the division, does that scare you? That it's down to 6 games?
I said a few weeks ago that if that lead shrunk to 5 games, I would be nervous. It shrunk to 5 games yesterday. Now it's 6. So am I nervous? Yes. That's 5 games is nothing.
No. That's one more losing streak by the Tigers, and we are looking at a divisional fight again. And that's a reality I don't necessarily want to be in. I think that if we end up in a fight for the division with Cleveland down the stretch here, I think that it will only give me less faith in this team. They had this lead, and every team is susceptible to a bad stretch or two, but when you're looking at how bad this stretch has been over the past couple of weeks, it's really starting to wear. It's really starting to affect some of the players in this team, and that's where if not everyone's not a full go, like how you saw in the beginning of the season. In the beginning of the season, the beauty of how good A.J. Hinch's managing can be is the epitome of the success in the front half of the season because he could utilize every single person on that roster and know that they were going to be effective.
Right. You didn't know where the danger was going to come from. Yeah. It could be from a dude that was in the minors a couple weeks ago. It could be from Riley Green. Not now. Or Torque or Baez. So you never know where the danger is going to come from.
Are you starting to get concerned about Riley Green?
Of course. Not only – see, the whole strikeout thing at first didn't bother me, but then they continued, and then he wasn't hitting also. So, yes, something is up with Mr. Green. It does concern me.
I'm okay. No,
something going on.
Mechanical or mental?
Definitely mental.
Yes, mental. Yeah. Because now
his mechanics have made him an all-star.
Right, and he has gotten bat training from Javi Baez. Now, he's the one going, digging out the dirt and going to this others' batters' boxes, stuff like that.
Yeah, he is not taking great at-bats, especially in that Phillies series. I mean, I felt like he was swinging over everything, and he has to adjust his mentality at the plate. I understand that, his new mentality, his new swing have created him to be an all-star. I agree with that point, but he's got to be able to hone in the mental and be able to find where that happy medium of swinging for the fences
Yeah.
and plate discipline is. And I think you're seeing it with Javi Baez this year. His plate discipline is much better. His swing path is much better. And I'm not telling Riley Green that he needs to change his swing path. He figured out his swing. His swing looks beautiful. It's now just about readjusting and making sure that you're not casting your hands out on outside pitches and getting fooled or swinging at pitches in the dirt.
I definitely agree with that. I think it's a team-wide thing. The Tigers were better when they were exuding more plate discipline early in the year. And you saw it just with this past game against the Angels that they won. A lot more patience at the plate yields good results. Even on nights where, you might get struck out looking, I think that needs to be a philosophy that this team sticks to, because that's when you saw the best torque. That's when you saw the best Riley Green, when these guys were taking pitches and being smart at the plate instead of pressing and trying to make things happen.
I'll be honest with you. I never heard the term plate discipline in all of the years with the Tigers until Scott Harris came here. Now,
yeah, right.
Maybe,
shout out.
Right. Maybe he needs to have a little meeting and say plate discipline like 100 times.
Yeah.
Because they have gotten away from that.
They have.
The Tigers no longer own the strike zone. They owned it all this season and late last season. Now, other teams have it. Minnesota has it.
And it's hard for me to digest that because this team has been driven by that philosophy for their entire era under A.J. Hinch and Scott Harris, where that just regression to the mean of this overcorrection where they are swinging at everything just really, really confuses me, and it makes no sense because they preach his philosophy. It would be like the Lions essentially going away from being a physical smash-mouth football team.
Yeah, but sometimes you need reminders. That's what coaching is all about. That's what front office administration. Now, just because these guys get paid millions and millions of dollars doesn't mean they retain everything all the time. Sometimes you need reminders. If it was just about talent, there wouldn't be no coaches because the teams would save money. Said, we don't need a manager. We don't need a coach. We're just going to let these dudes go out there and out-hustle and out-talent the other team.
Well, Kerry Carpenter has come back from injury, and I think that he has proven to be the big bat that this team has been missing, and he has capitalized on some very, very big mistake pitches, and that's what you're going to need in a playoff series, and Kerry Carpenter already has proved it with his home run last year off Class A that he can hit the big one, and he's going to have to. He's going to have to supply this team's power, and he's going to be a critical X factor being in and having to come in and destroy right-handed pitching, which he is known to doing, but it's also amplified in the postseason, and that's where you're going to have to see Kerry Bonds truly come to form and making sure that he can be that big swinger from the left side of the plate.
He's the guy that can make Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch look brilliant because Detroit fans said, need that right-handed bat. Even though the right-handed bat is batting left-handed,
right?
What you need is somebody who could hit. So bottom line, you got that in him. Now, if they can develop 2 of the 5 or 6 or 100 pitchers that they brought in, then that's a win too. Because basically, I still have faith in Will Vest.
Yeah.
Probably nobody else from the current staff, the guy who was already here, but. If you can get 2 of the other guys, you get a setup man and a closer, Will Vest could pitch 5th inning, 6th inning, or be the setup man. But you know how A.J. Hinch, he's just moving around. It's like a revolving thing. Yeah, you're setting up today, but you're going to be my 7th inning guy tomorrow.
Yeah. Real quick, I know we go back and forth on this. Do you think Kerry Carpenter need to be every day at this point? I feel like we go back and forth on this.
It's definitely getting to a point where if we're worried about the power in the postseason, I do believe that he is better out there than he is on your bench. If there you are not producing enough power against left-handed pitching, I do believe regardless of how low his batting average is, I think just the power supply he brings, where no matter what, if that pitcher throws a mistake to Kerry Carpenter, he's going to capitalize.
Yeah.
And that's something you can't say about a lot of the right-handed hitting in this lineup.
I'll be short and sweet. I don't go back and forth on this. I put him in the lineup. I give him 1 day off a week.
I feel you.
And then, you get Thursday off or Wednesday off also.
Right.
That's actually 2 days.
I know his averages aren't the best, but he has proven he can crack lefties.
Yes.
So, Definitely agree with that, but it's one-on-one, man.
Yeah, make sure that you crack into a little bit of the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep at 2 o'clock.
Hopefully.
We appreciate you guys tapping into Big D Energy. Make sure you smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. We'll catch you in the next one. This has been Big D Energy. We'll catch you next one. Peace.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.